So I just wanted to talk about Lake Louise and the NHL maybe hosting a game there. Um, I used to work in Lake Louise during Canada's 150 celebration, and it was a pain in the ass. It was the busiest it's ever been. I used to work not in I. Let me go back to the beginning. Lake Louise is a town filled with condos is the wrong. I want to dorms. Let's put dorms. It's basically a college city for working people, a college town for working people that work for the hotels of Lake Louise. There's three or four around there that are big that the skiers and all those people go to, and you know what I mean? There's just the workers need somewhere to live, right? So that's what Lake Louise is, and I'm not sure if people know that or not. They might think it's on the lake, but it's not. You have to drive about 10 or so minutes uphill, depending on the weather, and so much. You have to drive up the mountain. Then you reach a lake with the Fairmont Hotel. Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise is what it's called. And so I used to work in Deer Lodge, and that's halfway up. It's in between Lake Louise and the Fairmont. It's like right down the street from the Fairmont. And yeah, it's just a little like old school, like 100-year-old lodge thing. You can look up pictures of it. It's nice, and it's kind of like it's 3 or 4 stars depending on the cook, whatever, all that blah blah blah. So, anyways, yeah, and I'm just trying to think of the logistics of. I don't think the NHL would do it there, or it will happen there, just because I don't think the Fairmont wants to just shut down their hotel to high paying returning cut. You know what I mean? They don't. There's no. I don't know if they would make more money off the NHL than they would having that whole week of sales of regular normal sales. It's a big hotel that costs a lot of money, and that thing's filled all the time, right? It's probably arguably one of, if not the most popular in all of Banff. You know what I mean? It's 4.6 stars on. I'm just looking. It's got 12,000 ratings on reviews on Google. It's a 5-star hotel and it's got 4.6 stars. I mean, the thing's huge. It's like a Vegas fucking hotel, probably bigger. I've never been to Vegas, but I'm just assuming. So yeah, I just don't know if it's worth it. And I just listening to the Steve Dangle podcast, and they're like, yeah, Lake Louise, Lake Louise, Lake Louise, and I get it, but I don't think it'll ever really happen, because why would the Fairmont want to do it? Maybe the NHL can do some good convincing of good advertisement, and yeah, I mean it damn well could be, and you know what I mean, they might be able to like work out a nice little deal about, hey, you mean we get to show off your hotel and blah blah blah, and that could totally happen, but it's not like Lake Louise sells itself. It doesn't need the NHL being there. I could see them turning around being like, it's kind of gimmicky. You mean we're a place of high class and so on and so forth. So you bring in, like, we don't need you to come. That I don't know. Who knows? Business people are weird. Could really go anyway. But I think people don't understand what Lake Louise really is. You know what I mean? There's not going to be fans that go to this. If they, you know what I mean? They were debating, do they have fans? Do they don't have fans? Fans wouldn't be going. You wouldn't have 20,000 fans anyways. There's not enough space, and people ain't paying that much money for these hotel rooms that are just normal people. Like, it's just not going to happen. They'll be rich people. Like, it won't be just regular middle class Joes. You know what I mean? It just won't be. The prices will rise through the roof for these hotel rooms, and so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. So it'll just be a big corporate mess at the end of the day, and I don't know if it's really worth it for the Fairmont. You know what I mean? Just when you're behind the scenes and you understand, you know what I mean, the whole mountain is catered towards guests, right? So you don't understand that behind the scenes it's kind of a bitch to get shit done. The trucks coming up for food and blah blah blah, it's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Just the overall logistics of moving things that aren't guests sucks to get around the guests. You know what I mean? To keep it hidden from the guests. So I don't know if the Fairmont's willing to shut down and lose that money in order to set it up. I mean, unless they're willing to just have horrible, noisy construction going on the whole time, building this rink, upsetting their guests that are paying thousands and thousands of dollars to be there. You know what I mean? I just don't know if it's worth it. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just kind of being a realist towards the situation, because I don't think people really know what it's like to work there. It's a small, you know what I mean? There's only a few hundred people that work there, and you know what I mean? It's so, yeah, just a little different point of view. And I know it seems kind of odd, but like, yeah, I used to work there, and so I kind of get the little bit of a gist of if it's possible or not. I mean, it totally is. With enough money, anything's possible. The NHL could just give them $100 million and say, if you for 2 weeks, you shut this down, and they say okay, and I guess everybody's happy with it. But I don't know if that's really worth it for anybody in the end. You know what I mean? You really want to piss off paying customers and say, you know, they stopped us for a hockey game. You know what I mean? Like, the travelers coming from Italy, do they give a shit about a hockey game? Yeah, no, they'll rip the Fairmont a new one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's a fancy, fancy, fancy hotel. This isn't just like taking over a Travelodge, right? This is like a legit thing. This is like legit. So, I don't know. Just a different point of view from somebody that's actually worked there before. And yeah. So, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. If it does happen, that'd be awesome and cool and right on. Totally. But I just think you know what I mean? Kind of like Quebec City getting a team again. Let's just calm down a little bit, okay? Let's just there's plenty of other places where we can go. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be like Louise. Yeah, so that's all. Have a good day. Peace.